Hello and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. On behalf of OTC Markets and our co-host Zach's Small Cap Research, we are very pleased you have joined us for our quarterly Life Sciences Investor Forum. Our next live presentation is from Telescope Innovations. Telescope Innovations is a technology-driven company focused on developing advanced automation, digital tools, and chemical process solutions for the pharmaceutical and specialty chemical industries. Please note you may submit questions for the presenter in the box to the left of the slides. You can also view a company's availability for one-on-one meetings by clicking Book a Meeting in the top toolbar. At this point, I'm very pleased to welcome Jeffrey Sherman, PhD, Chief Commercial Officer of Telescope Innovations, which trades on the OTCQB venture market under the symbol TELIF and on the CSE under the symbol TELI. Welcome, Jeffrey.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you having us. And thanks everyone for joining. So as was mentioned, we drive innovation through intelligent automation, and we're focused on the high value specialty materials market, next generation materials, clean energy, but in one of the largest segments that we work in is in the pharmaceutical area. As you see on the list below, there's a representative list of the partners and customers with whom we are already working. As a small technology company, it is a bit unusual that we're already in revenue. We're break even, and last year we were cash flow positive. But we are going new places and going fast. And look forward to presenting the business to you. Obviously, the slides I present will have some numbers in them. They're intended to give you directional information. They're not in any way meant to be a forecast for analysts, et cetera, and things can change based on all the dynamics that we face in the world today. So we're focused on developing intelligent automation platforms that accelerate innovation in markets like crop protection and specialty chemicals, big pharma, and clean energy. Where exactly do we fit? The space that we fit is in helping them once they discover a new entity that they would like to manufacture at large scale. We help them by fully automating their development process. So to build a manufacturing process that might be doing synthetic chemistry, it might be doing purification, et cetera. And we use a variety of tools, which include our chemical knowledge, advanced analytical technologies, automation and robotics, and artificial intelligence, machine learning. There's been a big demand and driver in the marketplace following COVID, where the C-suite in a lot of companies and governments around the world have been funding big push in automation to accelerate innovation. The companies that already had implemented some aspects of automation in their R&D world were able to fare much better during the COVID years than people that were still using manual processes. And this slide sort of represents some of the investments in these different spaces, and recognizing that conventional strategies were really not meeting the required pace for re-onshoring manufacturing or re-onshoring R&D efforts into North America or in Europe away from Asia or other low-cost markets where they had outsourced all this work. They recognized the need to use automation and lab innovation to improve those processes and to improve their competitiveness globally. So just as a quick example, in the pharmaceutical world, once they've discovered a chemical entity, you can see in the white in the bar chart under conventional lab, it shows about $900 million to develop and commercialize a new drug. And then they have 10 years of patent lifetime to go ahead and sell and monetize that product. Using the tools that we have, we can reduce the amount of time that it takes, get better data, and produce a safer process, more efficient process for these entities, which will give them more time to sell their product and monetize it, a lower cost to develop them, and much more error-free information to pass on to the FDA, EMEA, and other regulatory bodies in this space. So most companies say, oh, we have a world-class team of experts that are scientific geniuses, et cetera. Well, in our case, we can really substantiate that and back that up. In fact, one of our key advisors and our founder The key advisor has 2 Nobel Prizes in chemistry, and Jason Hine at the top was responsible for unlocking the 2nd Nobel Prize in chemistry. This has only happened 5 times in history, where a single person has 2 Nobel Prizes, and he is the only living person with 2 Nobel Prizes. They've handpicked and curated a group of people that have expertise in chemistry or chemical engineering, and then one other feature like software, AI, chemistry and robotics, chemistry and in situ analytics. So we've built a robust team of people who have that so that we can build the fully automated self-driving laboratory. Then what's happened is we brought in a CEO, myself on the commercial side, and John Karincic, who has experience with public markets as our CFO. And we've had a history of value creation and helping small scientific companies grow into large ones. One of them in particular was a company called Mettler-Toledo Autochem, where we started with about 6 people through a series of acquisitions, organic growth, new technology development, et cetera. We grew that to about $1 billion market cap. And there's several examples of other smaller ones. But now we have sort of a strong team of scientific people and business people to bring this business to the next level. So our model is this. We have long-term relationships with big players like Pfizer, like Evonik, Standard Lithium, lithium manufacturing company, Hatch, who builds chemical factories for people. And they come to us with their most serious problems, and we do contract R&D with them. What this has spawned for us is to stay abreast of what's going on, help them with their more difficult problems, become a partner for them, but then also has allowed us to develop products which they can then buy and use themselves in their own laboratories, these self-driving laboratories, or automated sampling systems to be able to monitor their chemistry real time, rather than having to wait days or weeks for answers if they're pulling samples and sending them off to another laboratory. Additionally, we've created a portfolio of intellectual property, both process patents and product patents and technology patents, which we will also be offering is for licensing or for sale. So there's a multi-pronged approach for generating revenue. Right now, the business is probably 60-40, 60% product, about 40% contract R&D. But long-term, it will be a product-based, primarily driven. We'll always have the contract R&D to maintain those relationships with our customers and stay close to them and help them through some of their more difficult problems. So, as I mentioned, we've been generating revenue with contract research, which you see on the bottom, and we've launched our first strategic initiative, which was a direct inject LC product, which is being distributed globally through Mettler-Toledo, a multi-billion-dollar corporation in over 100 countries, where they're distributing and selling products across the globe in the scientific industry that we focus on. We have multiple other products coming as the direct inject portfolio platform is in fact the platform, and then you can make sure that it interfaces with other technologies with adjustments in software and some of the interfacing and handling of the samples to get to other technologies. So we have our 2nd generation direct inject LC coming out later this year and a couple of other interfacing products. Also, we're very heavily working on and building out a fully self-driving laboratory for the development of chemical processes and purification. And then we have some other parallel strategic initiatives that are going on and will be going on over the next couple of years to build out organizational development, whether it's business development, technology support and scientific support for customers across the globe, where the distribution network doesn't have necessarily all that support today. And then as we go, we're also building this portfolio of intellectual property, and there are people that are already interested, for instance, in some of our patents on processes for manufacturing and purifying lithium carbonate, but also a synthetic route for that's efficient and safe for manufacturing lithium sulfide, the next generation material for solid state batteries. We also have a manufacturing process for pharmaceutical relevant indole compounds that are used for treatment-resistant depression and other, and so there are a variety of different applications for those indole-based compounds, and we have an efficient process for doing that companies could license from us once they get approval from their clinical trials to go right into manufacturing. This is the first product. It's already been adopted by 15 of the top 20 pharmaceutical companies in the world. The other 5 are either in China, which we just kicked off in the fall, so we haven't fully penetrated there yet, or are vaccine companies with which we haven't kicked off any work yet. So we've been focused primarily in the normal other pharmaceutical environment. This tool essentially snatches a sample from in situ out of a reactor, will quench a reaction, dilute it appropriately, and present it to an analyzer, initiate and control the analyzer, get the information from that, and basically collect and present to the scientist a molecular video about what's happening in real time inside of a chemical reactor. And so we can then make adjustments based on temperature, agitation, dosing rates of different reagents, et cetera, to make the most efficient, safest process in a very, very quick manner. The good news is it generates recurring revenue for us. It is a platform technology, so we can also connect this to other analyzing technologies and present reactions to other types of analyzers that give complementary information. And we've built a pipeline of products now, and we'll cascade new products into the market to generate revenue from that. There is service revenue associated with it. There are also software licensing revenues associated with it. It's not a huge consumables business, but there is some consumable business associated with this as well. Now, our distribution strategy for this was, as a small company, rather than going to 35 countries and trying to set up legal entities and HR and tax people and finance and control, et cetera, we're leveraging a global distribution network of the company called Mettler-Toledo. It's a $4 billion company in scientific instruments and analytical precision instruments. They have a portfolio of products that address specifically the chemical development space that I've been talking about, and the technology that we have is missing from their portfolio. So it's very complementary. It fits in for them. They've not done a lot of innovation as they're focused on operational excellence, marketing, sales, manufacturing excellence. So they have the global distribution, a lot of close customer contact, and they can deliver this across the globe with all the logistics infrastructure they have. So we give them a normal transfer price as they would with any of their normal products. And this allows them to continue with customer engagement by bringing a new product to their customers, something that they're interested in. It gives them a recurring revenue stream and us. It gives them a portfolio refresh as well, as they're not doing a lot of innovation as they're focused on the operational excellence side. And it allows us to support them as a nimble development partner by developing next generation technologies that would fit in their portfolio. So it's a very symbiotic relationship and will really help accelerate the adoption of this technology into the market. I also mentioned earlier that we've signed an agreement, a master services agreement, to do collaborative research and development of a new product for a fully self-driving laboratory that's targeting the research space that we're discussing. And so this really accelerates the transition of novel chemicals and processes from the discovery phase all the way to large-scale commercial deployment. And Pfizer has funded this in a non-dilutive way. Basically, they're saying, we need this. It's not our core competence. We trust you guys to do this. Would you please build this product for us? And so that's been going very well. It's a multi-million-dollar project. It's spread over a couple of years, and we will deploy those products, which will help them and everyone else in the market accelerate their products' time to market, increase their competitiveness, as I alluded to earlier, and will help them determine where they're going to make their global investments in R&D, and they're going to roll this out across the self-driving platform across their research enterprise. So we already have a global customer and partner network of contract research clients and product development partners on the left-hand side, in addition to working with the end users of the technology like Pfizer or say Genentech, et cetera, 3M. We're also working with people like Shimadzu, who's the largest scientific instrument company in Japan, and we do collaborative work with them. We've taken outsourced research projects from Hatch, who builds chemical plants for people. And basically, when they don't have all of the capability to do the research and process development, they've outsourced work to us. Standard Lithium is a similar organization. They're now building a lithium plant in Southwest Arkansas for lithium brine for producing lithium carbonate, and in Southwest Arkansas, Texas, California. And they've outsourced projects for us for them to do the chemical development of their processes, and in the purification end of the process as well. Mettler Toledo is a distribution partner, and. Now, the pharma partners have been outstanding. As I mentioned, 15 of the top 20 have already invested. They also work in something called the Enabling Technologies Consortium, which is 18 of the top 20, where they work in a pre-collaborative way to basically put out requests for proposals for technology that they need and products that they need that nobody else is manufacturing. And that precipitated our very first product. They funded the development of the first product. So our R&D organization wasn't taxed with that. And we were able to build a product which we're now selling on the marketplace, and they can buy and will have sustainable support for. Finally, we also have had some grants through the British Columbia Center for Innovation and Clean Energy. We're building a pilot plant currently that will work on the purification of lithium at larger scales, also manufacturing of lithium sulfide. We've also worked with Natural Resources of Canada and the Mining Innovation Commercialization Consortium to fund research on the development of processes for critical minerals that need to be developed in North America. From a revenue standpoint, we had 1 quarter of revenue in 2022 when we kicked off the business, and it was about 600,000 Canadian dollars in doing contract research business. The losses were there because we were setting up our laboratory, acquiring all the instrumentation, robotics, software, computers, people, et cetera. And there's several non-cash items in there that are associated with options and share grants. Then the next year we had a full year of revenue, got to 2.8 million, and we had 1 quarter of revenue with our new product launched into the market, and we were approached break-even sort of EBITDA. In 2024, we narrowed the gap on the EBITDA side, did 4.4 in revenue, and were cash flow positive. This year we aim to do between 7 and 8 million. We are going to continue to invest in the infrastructure of the business, to build out our facility further, to get the capabilities that we need, adding people. We need another AI, ML engineer. There are a variety of things that we're doing there, some more robotics, electronics technicians, business development people, et cetera. So we're going to keep it and manage it appropriately so that we can keep it at a break-even point. And then you can see as we go forward some budgeting that we're doing and planning associated with that. And we have a variety of initiatives that are going on to drive that growth in revenue and drive the business in a healthy way. As I mentioned, Professor Jason Hein was the founder and CTO of the business. We have senior advisor Barry Sharpless with 2 Nobel Prizes in chemistry. Back to Jason, he unlocked that 2nd Nobel Prize. He also leads one of the largest academic groups in Canada, and he has amazing connections within the big pharma and specialty chemical industry. When they have their problems that they're not able to solve with their normal scientists, they come to him to help solve these problems. I also mentioned Henry Dubina earlier. He came from Mettler Toledo and IBM Instruments back in the day. And he is the CEO and chairman of the business, formerly with Mettler Toledo, left that business and had joined over here. I worked at Thermo Fisher Scientific, Mettler Toledo, micromoritics, and a variety of different companies over the last 30 years on the commercial side, developing distribution organizations and advanced technology development. And then John Karinchitz is our CFO, again, with the deep understanding of corporate finance and public markets. On our board, in addition to Henry and Jason, is Andy Robinson, who's the president of Standard Lithium, Robert Mintek, former CEO of Standard Lithium and a variety of other public companies, and Ali Pejman. And Ali is an investment banker who's been very successful and works in Vancouver and has advised us on our public market strategies. Our cap table looks like the following. There are 53.7 million shares outstanding. 25% of the business is held by insiders, directors, and officers. Last Friday, the shares closed around 41 cents Canadian. So we had a market cap around 22 million, 5.5 million options. So our fully diluted market cap's around 25 million with $1.3 million on hand. So we're a globally scalable, intelligent automation platform type of company, building products, doing contract research, and building a portfolio of intellectual property which will generate revenue for the business and for the shareholders. We're kind of at a growth inflection point where we're growing quickly, and we want to invest more in building out the organization so that we're able to serve the growth that's coming and the pressure that's coming to deliver for what the market demands are for self-driving laboratories. And we're working on this in a very capital efficient way. As stated, we were cash flow positive last year, near break even, and the business is still growing rapidly. So I thank you all for your attention and participation. And at this point, I'll open it to questions if anybody had any questions. And I think Paloma was going to feed me a question or two, depending on what you sent in the chat box.
Sure. Yeah, there's a couple of questions here. One of them is just about whether there will be a replay available for this presentation. The answer is yes. You can use the same link that you used to join this call, and then within 24 hours, the replay will be available. One of the other questions we have, Jeff, is related to a statement we had in our MD&A for Q1 of this fiscal year about the company may incur losses in the future. However, it has secured several cash flow positive sales contracts, and it expects that it will be able to generate positive cash flow going forward. The question was just, does that remain true about our cash flow outlook?
Yeah, it's one of the things that we use an IFRS accounting basis, and the financial guys, and especially with publicly traded companies, are required to do that. If I had $25 million in the bank on our balance sheet, and we wouldn't have to put that statement in there. But whenever you have less than a year of cash, or I don't know what the actual term is, they automatically make you put that in. So the business is going the right direction. We're not upset or not nervous about the ability to be an ongoing entity, and but that's something that we are required to put into our financial statements.
Right on. Next, we have a few questions about our IP portfolio, generally just asking for a little bit more color on where our IP stands, and even more specifically, how approximately what % of our IP is covered within the 3 segments of the business.
Okay. So we have a couple of lithium patents, one on lithium sulfide and the process for synthesizing lithium sulfide. The old process was really ugly, 500 degrees, extremely dangerous. And we have something that resembles something that's more synthetic chemistry that you would do in a normal pharmaceutical or chemical laboratory. And so that one is really valuable for the next generation of people doing solid state batteries that don't catch on fire if your car gets wet or is broken in an accident, like the current technology. We also have a patent on lithium carbonate, and this is for purification. This reduces the cost of infrastructure to build a factory by 15 to 20% by eliminating several of the feedstock polishing requirements that they have for dealing with the messy systems that they get with brines that come out of the ground. And so we can avoid that, and it cuts down about 15 to 20% on the operational side as well. Now, on the pharmaceutical side, we have a process patent for dealing with the indole compounds. These are compounds that are used for treating treatment-resistant depression, alcoholism, people who have PTSD, some palliative care, et cetera. And then finally, we have we're working on a variety of other patents to go onto it. So far, we haven't licensed any of this. We have interested parties in some of them, and some of them are tied to our product portfolio as well. So that helps protect us from others in the industry.
Right on. Yeah, maybe just a couple of last questions here. One of them that I see is, what upcoming milestones do you see with the self-driving laboratories program?
So we have gated, gating technology calls every other week. I think every week, Paloma, you can correct me, but we speak to Pfizer very, very quickly every couple of weeks on this project to make progress, show them video and show data and show progress on all the technology on self-driving lab. There are some other partners who may be joining in the consortium who are other big pharmas that will contribute to accelerate this research as well. It will be something that is built where we have working sort of proof of concept on the technology by the end of the year, and we'll be developing a prototype shortly thereafter and expect to launch it into the market in our fiscal 2026.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We do have that really close collaboration. We have one question about the pharma roundtable that was also mentioned in the MDMA, and about how Telescope and Mettler were the only invited suppliers.
Right.
The question is about how unique that is for small technology companies to be invited to events like these, and how we got our foot in the door, and a little bit more color there too.
Well, it's interesting that when we did this originally back a long time ago, we did it for all users to join, and it became a scientific conference. It was intended to be a tips and tricks session for people who purchased our technology, that we would help them be more successful with it. It grew into a conference that had multiple parallel sessions and all process safety, process analytics, et cetera. And ultimately, we had to scale it back and make it into this biopharma roundtable where there are only 2 thought leaders from each big pharma company allowed, because it got so unwieldy. And they deal with problems that are coming for those people today. And they invited us to present at this forum. So it is unprecedented, in particular with companies like us. And I think it's a demonstration of how much they value the input that we have. And they want us to hear the direction that they, the series of problems that they have and the direction that they want to go in the industry to improve the development of chemical processes, dealing with big data, how to make the processes safer, how to do it in the most efficient manner. And so they want us to be exposed to that. They want us to share what's available. And it's really been a fantastic relationship to participate in it.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. I don't know if we can squeeze one last one here. Just in terms of Mettler Toledo and where that relationship stands now, and any future outlook we have there.
So last year we signed a multi-year distribution agreement with them. We also have a co-development agreement with them. It was the first time in my career that it was able to secure a minimum on a distribution agreement. And so we have a normal transfer price agreed with them. We have gone and trained their North American sales force, their European sales force, now twice, Japanese sales force once, and China, we just kicked off and are beginning the training process with them. We will go into Southeast Asia and Eastern Europe. We'll reach into their distribution network as well, where they don't have direct employees, but we wanted to do it in a controlled manner, which we could support and ensure the customers had the support, and so we could maintain those relationships. It's going well. We also have a development agreement with them where they share, they need us to build prototypes for them or next generation product. So I think that's all the time we have for questions. You can book a one-on-one meeting with me next week, Monday or Tuesday, and you can click here to sign up for one of those meetings. But we do thank you very much for joining. We have a very exciting company, and we're moving very quickly. And while this is a normal life science meeting, we're a technology business. All of our customers from the big pharmas are buying products from us. So thank you again for joining us, and have a great day.